Hey, I'm Pup Davy. I'm taking you with me on a trip to a far distant time called 2019. I was just a horny teenager and starting my real life journey with kink. Because before that, everything I did was online or with myself. And now I'm in college and I'm freely able to explore and get gay friends and, get into the scene. I was already a really good fisting bottom. Even for my age back then, I could take a lot, especially in width-wise. Almost anybody could fist me, even when they had big hands. It was never a problem. But I did not have any experience as a fisting top because I barely had any friends who were able to do it. I didn't. I don't know. Fisting was just not so common yet. I feel like it was still just starting to bloom up, and everyone wanted to do it, but people were just not sure how to start. So I was at events or sex parties, and I was just starting to fist some people, and these people had a little bit of experience, but not much. But it's pretty new. It's especially new for me as a fisting top, and I think relatively new for them. And I'm fisting them, okay. And a few minutes in, I take my hand out, and I'm like, oh no, you're bleeding a little bit, honey. Fuck. And I tell them, you're going to die! You're going to die! You should take a break. Maybe you should stop for now. I think I did something wrong, or I was worried, The bleeding, it made me uncomfortable. It made me scared. And the reason that this is because when people fist me, and when I fist myself, and when I play with my toys, I don't bleed. I don't bleed. I almost never do, and if I do, it is so little that it is completely neglectable and ignorable. The only thing I knew was my own body, and from my experience, when I bleed, that means that something went wrong. It means that one of the nails must have cut me or something, or that we went too rough. So I reflect that onto other people. If they started bleeding, I would tell them to stop. I would tell them that I didn't want to continue anymore, and I was wrong. I was so wrong for that, and I apologize if I did that to you. Now that I am more experienced as a top, I have learned and acknowledged that bleeding during fisting is normal. It is normal. So if you have bled during your fisting session and you are worried, don't worry. But you're probably fine. Okay, let me just get into the details a little bit. Whether or not you bleed during fisting, it's a genetic thing. It's not something that you can help. Even when I cut my nails perfectly short, when I file them and there's nothing that can scratch, and even if I wear gloves, people can still start bleeding when I fist them. It just keeps happening. I guess your intestinal tissue is just, the surface of it is very soft and fragile. It can easily get scratched. It's not like a skin. It's not skin, okay? It's not as durable as this. If you were to scratch it like this, it will easily tear. I don't mean as in tear you can easily perforate it. That's something completely different. That is not as easy to do. People will often make this comparison oh, your intestines are like wet paper and you can just perforate right through. That is not true. It's really not as likely to happen that you perforate through it. There's a whole bunch of muscle in there as well. Making a hole through it it's not just gonna happen, but making micro tears and micro cuts is common.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
Now what do you do in these situations? When you're fisting and you're making these little cuts, usually there will just be a little tiny bit of blood on your hand. It will stop bleeding almost immediately. It stops really quickly and it will not start bleeding again. Or if it does start bleeding again, it will stop bleeding again really quickly. And it's just tiny little bits that come out. And that's nothing to worry about. And you should not shame your bottom.
I thought you had experience as a fisting bottom!
It's okay. It's really okay. How come that for a lot of people, bleeding is so common and normal, and for other people, bleeding is something that never happens? I think it is genetic. I don't bleed. I don't bleed ever. I never bleed. Not just during fisting, not just from my ass, I've never had a bloody nose before. When I get cuts in my hands from knives, for example, it will just be like, oh, I'm bleeding, and it's just like a tiny drop, and then it's like it stops. I never have the type of bleeding that you're like, oh no, and you need paper, and it's like, oh fuck, and you really need to try and stop it. It's like that never really happens to me. No matter what I do, the bleeding stops instantly. I mean, I've had cuts before. I've had a painting fall over me when I was little, and like one of the screws that were on it scratched the skin of my leg. And even then, the bleeding was really not so bad. Yeah, I don't know. Bleeding is just not in it for me. And because of that, I really thought that bleeding for other people was also a bad sign. If you're a fisting top, take care of your nails, okay? Please don't be the type of fisting top who's like, oh, I don't like cutting my nails. Come on, take care of your bottom. Or if you're like, oh, I'll just wear gloves. Yeah, gloves can help you, okay? Gloves can really take away the sharpness of those nails. Alright, your bottom spent an hour cleaning themselves out. You can spend 20 minutes doing your nails, honey. Thank you. What should you do if your bottom starts bleeding during fisting? So imagine you're going at it. Let's just say that you're playing kind of rough. You're punching them, flop, 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 like sloppy noises, gaping as hell. Oh, you're having a good time. You push it in, you punch it, you pull it out, and you look at your hand and you think, oh, what the fuck? There's a whole red string on here. Because it's not like your whole hand is just going to be bloody suddenly. No. It's just one little tear that you've made. Blood will come with it on your hands. It's just a little string. It's not like you're going to be bloody all over. But you're going to notice it. And you're going to be like, oh shit, there's some blood here. Tell your bottom. Okay? If you feel like you should tell your bottom. But you should not try to... If it's not a lot of blood, you should not worry them too much. Keep it cool. Alright, stay calm. Don't freak out. You as a top, definitely. Stay calm. Don't freak out. You can ask them if you hurt them. Okay, if they say yes, discuss it a little bit. If they say no, you can ask. What you can try is you can put your hand in again. Pull it out, and if you see that the bleeding is more, that means you should stop. Tell your bottom to go flush out with cold water. It should narrow the veins, and you give it a little break. Wait 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You can try to go again. Build up slowly. If the bleeding starts again really soon, and if it's still as much as it was before, it's up to you and your bottom to discuss if you want to continue. If you're comfortable continuing and the bleeding is not so much that it's something that you feel like you should really worry about, then sure, continue if you both want to. If either party of you is concerned or just not comfortable anymore, that's also fine. Just communicate through it and don't shame either one for not wanting to continue. What should you do if you have a lot of bleeding? I guess the first thing that they can do is they can go to the toilet. They can try to relax or try to push, and if they see that there's blood coming out, not just like a little reddish loop, that doesn't count, okay? That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about if there's actual blood coming from your hole. That is when you should be careful. I would say that you should maybe try flush it with the cold water again. Give it some time, depending on how much the bleeding is. If it's not stopping, you should start discussing with your top whether or not you need to pay a visit to the emergency room. Huge accidents during fisting are not common. I don't have any experience with them, but there's also no joke. For the smallest chance that something goes really wrong and you have a problem and your bleeding does not stop, I would say put your health first, put your shame away on the side, seek help. In most cases, the bleeding will stop, but if it doesn't and you start to really get worried, do something about it. That is my advice. You should really do something about it. Most accidents that I hear of that happen that people have to go to the emergency room are not really fisting related, but more toy related, when toys get stuck up their hole. I think that's going to be more for another video. I want to get rid of this false idea that people have that fisting is so dangerous. There's like a lot of streaming and porn websites who don't allow fisting, and it is like marked under a category as a dangerous activity.
I'm in danger.
It's really not so dangerous. It's really not. And like, sure, okay, this is fisting. Okay, we are making, this is hard porn, okay? It's a body, okay, there might be some feces involved. There might be some blood involved. I think this is normal, and we should not shame our bodies for being bodies and working the way that they do. I am so tired that like when you make a throat fucking video and there's this tiny peck of puke somewhere, that they will just censor the whole video and be like, nah, it's a puke now, puke is not okay on our website. We're just like, it's a body, it does what it's supposed to do, and like we're trying here and we're trying to keep it clean. Seriously, don't body shame us like this. Same with anal sex. Like, if you're really disgusted and terrified of anything that is shit related, okay, fine, don't do anal sex then, okay? Don't watch anal porn. And if you cannot handle blood at all, don't watch fisting porn. Don't engage in fisting. It's not for you. But don't set it aside as something that you think is dangerous or disgusting just because you don't know anything about it. This is soft tissue that we're working with on the inside of the body. It is prone to having micro cuts, micro tears, and the bleeding will always stop immediately. I think we should raise some awareness on this. I guess that's it. If you think that I misrepresented something in this video, or you have remarks or comments, or you think, oh, Davey gave some wrong information at some point, or you want to challenge me on something, please comment your thoughts. Click on the like button if you like the video. Subscribe here on my YouTube channel, Waffle Waff. I also have a Telegram channel, t.me/PupDavey. Thank you.